Hi, and welcome to the Northwest Carp blog. This is the story of the 2016 Forum Social. Having been to Cromwell Lake for the last 2 years, this time we returned to Yateley Sandhurst. The lads were all assembled in the car park swim by 9 AM on Friday morning. With no hut, we had to do the draw outdoors, so we used a big map next to the car park peg. Everyone took a numbered piece of paper out of the hat, with number 1 getting first choice, 2 getting second, 3 getting third, and so on. With a superb track record of coming out last, Karma finally paid me back on this trip, and this time I came out second, the highest choice I've ever had on one of these draws. I chose peg 13, which is off the back of the wind. Once everyone had picked their pegs, I dropped my gear off at the back of my swim and started setting up my bivvy. I'm not a big night angler, so I thought I'd get myself comfy before I put the rods out. I find on hard fish day ticket waters, it pays to give the fish something that's not round and made with eggs, so my bait for this trip was tiger nuts and maize. You pegged 13 well, so my baits were out fairly quickly. I'd only been fishing for around 3 hours when one of the tiger nut rods was away. It wasn't long before the fish found a weed bed and got bogged down. It took a while, but eventually it got the fish moving, only for it to find another weed bed closer in. This time the carp locked me solid. I actually asked Darren to go and find me a boat, but they were all locked up too. Whilst Darren was gone, I tried everything, changing angles, standing on the step in my swim to gain extra height when applying pressure to the rod. Nothing worked. As a last resort, I tried putting the rod back on the rest and slackening off. I actually tried this twice, and on the second occasion the carp came free of the weed and the fight turned in my favour. Slowly but surely I edged the fish closer. By now I knew it was a decent mirror, certainly over £20 and probably over £25. The fish had picked up one of my other lines, and the other rig was out in the lake and probably buried in the weed too. It was a tricky situation, but I kept the pressure steady, and eventually the fish came close enough for Daddy to slip the net under her. I was relieved and happy to see that one in the net, and having a fish within 3 hours was a very good start. We took the fish onto the back road where I weighed her in at £27 6 ounces. It was the first fish of the social and a good result given that the lake was out of form. We did a little filming and I got some decent still pics, then the fish was released, none the worse for finding so many weed beds on the way in. you want to show us a couple as well, mate? Actually, you can come in a bit closer. Not that close. Actually, that's pretty good. Other side?
Yeah.
Well, the net can go, mate. I can carry it back to the water in that lake, so you can use the net.
You pick them up, mate.
You can carry it in that mat, can't you?
There we go. Water. Okay, mate, do you want to give us a squeeze? Perfect.
It's like, yeah, allows a smile in photos these days. It's not all it's alright, mate. I'm trying to... Yeah. Done.
Yeah, that's great. Cheers.
Well done, mate.
He's a cracker.
Do you want me to watch it if you have a quick scan of them? Check you're happy?
Mate, they're sound.
Yeah, okay.
I don't need to check them because I've seen half of them myself. Nice.
Middle rod as well.
It's always good when someone gets one on the first afternoon, though, isn't it?
That's it, so giving him a bit of a rest.
After I had my quick result, the fish seemed to disappear and stop showing in front of me, and it was later the next day one of the lads found them in the back channel behind the island. Thanks Kurt and Phil for this footage. As you can see, there are certainly some lumps in this back channel. All these fish are over £20, the biggest are certainly 30s. I'm sure the carp know they can't be fished for in this channel. Even putting a GoPro camera in there didn't put them off, and unfortunately they stayed here for quite a while, which was no good for our fishing obviously. Over the weekend, only 3 fish saw the bank. Mine was the biggest by a mere 2 ounces, and the only other fish caught weighed £17. The weather wasn't good for this trip. We had bitterly cold wind all weekend, and I'm sure it put the fish off. Without doubt, this was the least productive social we've ever had. I was due to stay on an extra night, but it was so bad I gave up and went home a night early. Returning to Sandhurst was a trip down memory lane. Luckily for me, I managed to maintain my perfect record of catching one every trip, but only just on this occasion. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to my channel for future updates. Until next time, tight lines.